Can't see from in here. That is nice.
Will take us to the safest possible place that we can go. Basically, the edge of the charts, as far as we can go. And we describe it as the edge of the earth up here on the ridge. From a safety standpoint, it makes perfect sense. Why risk going into the unknown with a luxury cruise ship? We have no idea what's below the water surface out in front of us. There might be another Sawyer island that's hiding out underneath the water out there in the distance. We have no idea. NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, is scheduled to resurvey this area and survey all the way up to the front of the ice. Once they do, then maybe we can get a little bit closer. Between now and then, probably a good idea to keep our distance. What I do know about this glacier, having kayaked here and also done some independent surveys with glaciologists, is that there is a distinct nose of ice that sticks out underneath the water. And from that nose, or that extension of ice that's below the waterline, there are several hundred feet of ice that's below the water system, come what we call shooters. When ice breaks free from that nose of ice, it comes to the surface like an ICBM missile. Over the years, we've seen some really impressive shooters that have come up from the South Sawyer Glacier. They're blue-black. You have a good idea what's going on just by looking at the surface of the glacier. And so it's this ice ball that you see up where the light is running through the seracs up on the big fingers up there, drops down the better part of almost 1,000 feet down to the lower section of the valley. So it's there that the glacier's brittle zone, the zone where it fractures and splits apart like any brittle substance. You get to see these magnificent crevasses that run down 150 feet down into the glacier system. At the base of those crevasses is what's known as the plastic zone. That's an area of the glacier that kind of flows over the landscape like a fluid rather than a brittle substance. So most of the plastic zone is below the water surface here, right at the snout or face of the glacier. The early glaciologists grappled for terms to try and describe the glacier. So they described the face or the snout of the glacier. The water that comes away from the glacier was known as glacial milk. It calves, it gives birth to an iceberg. Lots of anthropomorphism that was given to the early descriptions of glacial systems. As you watch the captain maneuver the vessel, you'll notice that there'll be these big clouds of silt and sediment that billow up around the ship. It's not because it's shallow here. We've got 600 plus feet of water underneath us. It's just a lot of glacial silt, what's known as glacial rock flour, when it's being stirred up in the second and third thermocline. You can see this silt layers of water left and right of us. So in the first thermocline, that first layer of silt kind of suspends out and sits there. And then the second and third layers, 10, 20, 30 feet down, are different thermoclines where the silt and sediment are suspended. If we were to scoop up a glass of this water, it would take 30 days for that silt and sediment to settle out, and finally for the water to go clear. Glacier is kind of like a piece of sandpaper. It's carrying along rock and debris. That rock and debris is what's doing all the work. The glacier itself isn't really abrading the hillsides. It's all the rock and debris that carries with it. It's actually abrading and manipulating the landscape around us. As you look up onto the surface of the glacier, you're able to see this kind of rusty brown appearance up on the tops of the rocks and also the main surface. Later, for those of you that are going to fly up to the Mendenhall Glacier, you get a chance to walk around on a similar surface. Over the course of the summer months, the snow melts away and exposes the dust and debris and material that's being transported along by the glacier. Within that dust and debris, is an annelid, a worm, an ice worm. And it's only about a half an inch long. It's thread thin, and it's a reddish-brown appearance to it. On a bright sunny day like this, the ice worms have a tendency to migrate downward. They live at the top roughly 3 inches of ice. Now, they move around amongst the ice crystals and have a temperature tolerance of maybe 1/2 of a degree Fahrenheit. So they're constantly moving up and down through the ice crystals in order to keep their body temperature just right. And they're looking for pollen, the debris that's blown out onto the glacier. So when a piece of ice drops to the sea, oftentimes we'll see lots of gulls that'll swoop in as these ice worms are all floated to the surface, and they'll grab those ice worms at the water surface.
That's
So
spectacular.
when Robert Service was talking about the ballad of the ice worm cocktail, he was talking about a real creature. And so there are ice worms in the top surface of this glacier. The left and right edges of the glacier carry along what's known as lateral morainal material. That material, of course, gives us information about where the glacier is coming from, some of the country rock that it's abrading through. With that, especially, ooh, nice cabin right there on the left side. Good one.
And you can hear it. Hear it after.
Let's watch that safe zone. We might get lucky with another good cabin.
I'll handle her from here and make sure she's okay watching that.
Better wear gloves.
So It's against the light, no? It's supposed to be like this. Hi, how are you, sir?
Paul, how are you?
Very good.
Fine.
Are you ready for coffee or juices, madam?
What do you
Hot
like?
chocolate to get you warm.
You want some tea? Hot tea?
Or can I get a coffee with amaretto here, or do I need to get that?
Yeah.
I will have a just a decaf coffee.
Bye bye, Glacier. See you next time. Next year, no? I know what we have one more, no?
One more.
See you next week.
Who's leaving? You leaving?
We're leaving next week. So one more, then we're leaving.
Where are you going?
We're going back to Hawaii.
And she told us that.
Oh, that's right.
From the cold to the hot.
Very nice.
Only walk on camera.
Mine's too dark. But maybe we can lighten it. It's okay.
I was right.
We've not I do get close with that, but with that, looking right next to it.
Yeah, they do.
We'll get some of this ice right behind us with the sunrise. We got one of those. It's just the ultimate thing. Do you want to eat breakfast?
I might do that cheese thing again, but I'm gonna wait.
Maybe some cheeses.
Yeah.
I hate wasting. I think I'll do the fruit and berries. I don't know if I can lighten up these pictures or not.
Looking that way and didn't see it.
Oh, you didn't?
Oh, but I heard it.
Yeah, that's what it was. You heard the dark thing.
I was filming, so I have to wait till I get home to see if it
See if
got
you got it. I've never seen so many seals either. Ice was covered with them this
Yeah.
morning. Yeah.
Beautiful. They say that this boat has not been able to get this close since it started this cruise this year.
No, I don't think so. We've been up here about four or five times now. One time it came up. He came up a short distance and said, no, back. There was so much birds coming down. And we've been up here one time, it was really foggy. We've been up here a couple of times, so it's nice, but this is the nicest.
Yeah.
Hey? Yeah, I know.
It's amazing. We're just so lucky with the weather.
I know.
How much stuff gets in there? That's it right here.
Is it moving?
It's moving.